Hello and welcome to this Bible study on Psalm chapter 23. This is one of the most beloved and well-known passages in the Bible, and it has brought comfort and hope to millions of people over the centuries. Today, we will explore the meaning and significance of this psalm and how it can apply to our lives today. Verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. This verse reminds us that God is our shepherd, and we are his sheep. He is our provider and protector, and we lack nothing when we trust in him. Questions for reflection. 1. How does it feel to know that God is your shepherd? 2. What are some ways in which God has provided for you in the past? 3. How can you trust God more fully in the areas where you may be struggling or lacking? Verse 2. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. This verse describes the rest and refreshment that God provides for us. He leads us to places of peace and tranquility where we can be nourished and restored. Questions for reflection. 1. Where do you find rest and refreshment in your life? 2. How can you make more time for rest and relaxation in your busy schedule? 3. What spiritual practices or disciplines help you to feel closer to God and find rest in him? Verse 3. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. This verse speaks to the spiritual renewal and guidance that God provides for us. He restores our souls and leads us on the right path for his glory. Questions for reflection. 1. In what areas of your life do you need spiritual renewal? 2. How can you seek God's guidance and direction for your life? 3. What does it mean to you to live for God's glory? Verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. This verse acknowledges the reality of suffering and hardship in life, but also the hope and comfort that we have in God's presence and protection. Questions for reflection. 1. Have you ever experienced a difficult time in your life where you felt like you were walking through the valley of the shadow of death? 2. How did God comfort you during that time? 3. How can you hold on to hope and trust in God during times of darkness and uncertainty? Verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. This verse speaks to the abundance and generosity that God provides for us, even in the midst of opposition and difficulty. Questions for reflection. 1. How have you experienced God's abundance and generosity in your life? 2. In what ways can you be more grateful for the blessings that God has given you? 3. How can you share your blessings with others who may be in need? Verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This verse speaks to the eternal hope and promise that we have in God's goodness and mercy, and the assurance of a life spent in his presence. Questions for reflection. 1. What does it mean to you to dwell in the house of the Lord forever? 2. How can you live your life in light of this eternal hope and promise? 3. How can you share this hope with others who may not yet know it? The conclusion of this Bible study on Psalm chapter 23 is to remind us of the comforting and inspiring words of this beloved passage. Through the verses of Psalm chapter 23, we are reminded that God is our shepherd and provider, who leads us to places of rest and refreshment, restores our souls, and guides us on the path of righteousness. Even in the midst of difficulty and suffering, we can trust in God's presence and protection, and be comforted by his abundance and generosity. And ultimately, we have the assurance of eternal hope and promise, as we dwell in the house of the Lord forever. May this study encourage us to trust in God more fully and to live our lives with hope and gratitude for all that he has done for us. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.